Do you have pieces in your wardrobe that you've had for 5 or 10 or more years and you're not sure if they're still relevant and how to style them? Keep watching because that's exactly what I'm going to do in this video. Hello, welcome back to StyleCast, where I give you outfit inspiration based on the weather. I'm your host and style coach, Greta Eagan, and in this video I'm doing things just a little bit differently. I wanted to do this with a little bit of a twist on the capsule wardrobe, and that is to pull out pieces that I have had in my wardrobe for 10 years plus. The first piece that I want to highlight is the sock boot. And I literally pull this boot out every single season. There's just something about the shape. It's so classic. I love the heel height. It's very wearable. These are actually my first and only pair of sock boots because I bought the right one at the right time and it has just seen me through many, many years. I would say how I was styling it then, probably with a skinny jean, actually, and maybe a blazer over top with a little camisole shirt underneath, a camisole tank. That is probably how I was styling it 10 years ago. Today, I'm styling it with more of a crop style jean. I love the crop style with a raw hem. I think that that looks a little bit more edgy, a little bit more modern, and I do tend to go for a cropped and oversized style sweater or jacket as well, and then that kind of finishes the look off. The next piece that I have had for 10 years plus and always pull out every winter is my pea coat. Now, again, this was an investment piece. This is actually a pea coat that I bought in London when I used to live there. And so this is something that I've had in my wardrobe for years, and the quality is really high. It's really warm. It's one of those pieces that I just know I am going to get what I need out of it, both style-wise and warmth. I will say that I tend to lean into this style more when I'm in a city or when I'm in Europe, but needless to say, a pea coat is a classic style that you will be pulling out again and again. Back then, I was probably styling it with boots, equestrian style boots, leggings, an oversized sweater, and then the pea coat over top. That was definitely one of my go-to looks. Today I've modernized it a little bit and styled it with a pair of cropped jeans, the sock boot that you guys saw earlier, and I also like to pair it with a long wide leg jean as well, and a pointed toe shoe, a pointed toe boot. Those two combinations on the lower half balance really nicely with the cut and the shape of a pea coat on the top half. A leather pant is also a total wardrobe staple for me in the wintertime, and I just love the luxness of this fabric, and I feel like the cut of this one in particular, this leather trouser, is something that I just can wear over and over again. I will admit sometimes it feels like it's less in style because of the tapered and more skinny shape, but the more that I know myself and my own style, the more I am leaning into those different styles that I know work for my body, and this is definitely one of them. Styling it in the past, it's probably harking back to the days when I lived in New York and London, so I was probably a bit more dressy with it, and pairing it with like a button-down shirt and then a blazer over top and maybe like a Chelsea boot. I can totally see myself wearing that, and I'll try to find that image for you. And the way that I'm styling it today is as more of a casual piece that I'm bringing into my everyday wardrobe. So I did recently style it for some of the holiday videos, and again, that was just like a perfect piece for me to pull out. I paired it with some comfy sweaters, sometimes with a ballet flat, a flat shoe. I could definitely do it with a boot or a bootie, and then also definitely with a pump if you want to go a little bit dressier. But these are honestly a pair of pants that I don't think will ever go out of style. This next piece is a sweater that I have had 10 plus years from a brand that I totally fell in love with called Chinty & Parker, which is a London-based brand, and just super high quality cashmere, a little bit fun, a little bit of these different design details that take quality knitwear to another level and make it just a little bit more fun, a little bit more quirky, and I really liked those details. So this sweater, I was typically pairing it with a pair of leggings, maybe those equestrian boots again. That was definitely my style, especially when I was living in London. And today I am so happy that I still have this in my wardrobe. I actually do pull it out all the time. every winter. I do still pair it with leggings sort of for a more casual look, leggings and maybe a chunky boot and then an oversized parka. That is a go-to look for me, but I'm also wearing it with my straight leg jeans and a button down underneath, kind of peeking out, and some Birkenstock mules, and that feels very of the moment. It is sort of those like relaxed, cool girl vibes, and as you can see, it certainly translates well to today. Next, we have to talk about my skinny jeans. And yes, I know this is a topic that is going to have people divided, but honestly, I just feel like a good pair of skinny jeans is always going to have a place in my wardrobe. This pair in particular is made of that more stiff denim, and so it has worn very well over the years. In fact, it's that kind of denim that just gets better over time. And I have to say, I cheated just a little bit on this one because my husband loved these jeans so much. I think these were the jeans that I was wearing when we first started dating, and when I had my son, my body changed, you know, my hips opened up to make room for the baby to come out, and so I couldn't actually fit into my original pair, but my husband went onto Poshmark. He found the original pair in one size bigger and bought them for me, and I am still wearing the same style, just one size bigger. And again, as I say, they will always have a place in my wardrobe. I used to style them with a heel, some sort of closed-toed pump probably, and then a little tank underneath and a blazer. That was kind of a go-to look for me while I was living in New York City and when we first started dating. And today I'm styling them in a more casual way. I've rolled them to give them a little bit of a thick cuff, and again, because of the stiffness of the denim, it really works. And I pair that with a lug chunky boot, and I also like to pair it with a knit sweater. And then I'm bringing in a very trendy piece of the moment, which is the oversized leather jacket. You can see how they translate so well into modern times, even though they are such an old style, when you have just a few pieces that kind of update the look, especially that oversized leather jacket being sort of the star of the outfit. This next piece is from a brand that back in the heyday, they were pretty major, and I was so happy to get this sweater. This is a DKNY from the Donna Karan collection. And as you can see, it's this roll neck, oversized, almost like a cape sweater. And I love this piece. It is so cozy. I pull it out every winter. Very often I do pair it with leggings. Sometimes I just wear it around the house with leggings and Uggs or a little slipper, and it is the comfiest outfit ever. So you can see I haven't strayed too far away from that as I'm styling it today. Maybe just doing it with more of like a lug sole, chunkier patent leather boot to give it a little bit of an update. But you can see that it is just one of those pieces that is so timeless and so classic. I will probably have it in my wardrobe forever. Okay, the next one I want to highlight is a bubble skirt. Now, these definitely were in vogue, went out, came back. We have seen some different variations of them with the bubble hem and different bubble skirts through the last few years. And so that is something to remember, is that fashion is cyclical. And I do think it's less about the trends. I mean, trends are fun to indulge in. Sometimes just adding a little something that has that newness can make your wardrobe feel more fresh. So I'm all for that, but I'm also all for holding on to these things because they do come back around. Now, this was a skirt that I bought when I was living in London, and it was something that I bought as like an investment for when I wanted to be a little bit more dressy when I was going out to dinners, maybe even going out dancing to some of those clubs that they have. This was the piece that I bought, and I still have it. And again, it's one of my husband's favorite pieces. I think when we first started dating, I was wearing it with like a low scoop tank top and then putting a blazer over top. And then this will date me, but that's okay. I was also wearing it with like wedge little booties. So that was my look, and I actually like the way that that balances the shape, you know, the bubble skirt coming out and then, you know, skinny legs going down and then these kind of like wedge booties. I think it actually works. I wouldn't necessarily wear it that way now. Now I would pair it with an over the knee boot and a pair of tights. And I also really like it here with a roll neck knit sweater. I feel like it's modern, it's classy. There is something a little interesting going on because of the shape of the bubble skirt and how it also kind of creates almost an hourglass shape because of how it comes in at the waist, a little bit at the high waist. But yes, a classic piece that I will definitely be keeping around. Honey, you don't have to worry. Another wardrobe staple is a blazer. Now for me, this happens to be a navy blazer. I definitely could see this being a black one, but for whatever reason, the style and cut of this one is one that I tend to reach for over and over again. And I think it's because it's more of the boxy boyfriend shape. Now, obviously we've just gone through a huge round of oversized boxy blazers being the it jacket to add to your wardrobe, but I would say this is maybe not quite so oversized. It just has a little bit of that boyfriend oversized style to it without going in an exaggerated way. And for whatever reason, for me, my style, my body type, that really works. And so this one has stayed the test of time and is something that I keep pulling out. So I think in the past, I would have styled it probably more with the leggings and the equestrian boots and maybe like a drop waist shirt or sweater. Again, that was very much my style, especially when I was living in London and then New York. Now I am definitely still pulling it out, and I recently styled it with wide leg jeans and a pointed toe boot and just a little tissue weight turtleneck sweater underneath. And this outfit feels very modern, it feels very comfortable and also very classic. And that's what I think you can do with some of these pieces is when you identify pieces in your wardrobe that you've had for a long time that you still feel really good in, keep pulling them out and mixing and matching them with some of your new pieces, and you will see that you have endless options. All right, and the last piece I want to highlight is actually a pair of boots. These were boots that I bought when I first moved to New York City, and they are knee-high boots. They have a wedge, so they were a little bit easier to walk around in. I also love the tassel detail on the back, and I wore these to death. Actually, if you look closely, they're like not in the best shape because I have had them for 10 years and worn them so much, but I can't get rid of them because I just love the shape of them. I love how wearable they are with the wedge, and that tassel detail is just something that I haven't been able to find and replace. I used to wear them a lot actually with that DKNY sweater and leggings and just like an oversized or like a 3/4 wool coat and a beanie. That was like a go-to look for me when I was living in New York City. Now I am styling them a little bit more, I think, grown up, I would say. I guess that outfit was also grown up, but you know, I am older, and so I am pairing it now with leggings again, just so that I can highlight the tassel detail. I don't want to hide them under a trouser. And then I also paired it with a blouse and then a cardigan, like a grandpa oversized cardigan. And I love that kind of style. I think the cardigans have really come back into vogue. So this is maybe a way to modernize the look that I was doing before and make it feel a little bit more everyday for today. One thing that I want to mention is that you may have noticed that all of the colors of all of these pieces are in a very neutral and complementary colorway. And I think that that is something that I did sort of unconsciously, and now that I have been in the industry for so long and I'm doing my style coaching with clients, it's something that we really pay attention to, because when you purchase things that complement each other, then you have all these different combinations and you have these long lifespans for the pieces in your wardrobe because they are so versatile with your wardrobe. I hope that you guys found this video helpful, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, make sure to subscribe so you get all the future videos. I'll see you guys next time. Have a beautiful day.